Welcome back to This Week in Comics. We're going to stay with the DC vibe, and we're going to go with more Battles of the Cowel, a one-shot featuring Man-Bat, Dr. Kirk Langstrom. Now, this comic was entirely interesting for those who are Man-Bat fans. If you watched Batman the Animated Series, there's actually Man-Bat cartoons with Man-Bat in them. And it still had Dr. Langstrom, and if you're not familiar with Man-Bat, Man-Bat is a scientist who came up with a serum to turn himself into a bat. It wasn't originally his plan, but it's become sort of an addiction for him, and the only way he transforms is by injecting this serum. But he wanted to use his powers for good. He wanted to use it to help people. As we know, that doesn't always, just because you have good intentions, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, they say. Well, in this comic, we find out that after all the superheroes are being activated, essentially, with Batman missing, the Oracle is calling in everyone, including Dr. Langstrom's wife, Francine. Now, Dr. Langstrom is having nightmares about him training Man-Bat and killing Francine, and when he goes to his house, waking up from his nightmare, he finds out that his wife isn't there. He sees the message from Oracle, and he feels essentially useless that he wasn't called. Everybody but him was called. And he then realizes that Francine has disappeared. So he takes the serum and goes searching for her, and he finds her after he gets clocked and knocked out. And they had been taken hostage by Dr. Phosphorus. Dr. Phosphorus essentially is going to kill Francine. And he had taken Kirk's other serum for him to transform into Man-Bat, so essentially Kirk's feeling powerless. Until we find out that he can transform without the serum now. He saves Francine, and all the other members come to help him, and they see that he's in the Man-Bat form without him taking the serum. He's freaked out about this, and he takes off. That's where the one-shot ends. I mean, you have Man-Bat, who doesn't need the medicine anymore to become it. We really match, but yet, if you're a Man-Bat fan, I highly recommend you check it out. And moving on to other heroes, we're going to go with Issue 1, Flash Rebirth. Barry Allen's back, and he's better than ever. Now, if you don't know who Barry Allen is, essentially, he was the second Flash, but he was one of the best Flashes. And he died a while ago, or so we thought. But he came back because he outran death. Now, this comic, the Justice League, the Teen Titans, the Titans, everyone's throwing a party for him. His city's throwing him a parade. His family's throwing him a welcome back dinner. And he doesn't want to go to any of them because he feels that he can only outrun death for so long. He doesn't know why he's back because there's other people who didn't escape or outrun death that were almost as fast as him. Now, while this is going on, the current Flash, Wally West, is dealing with his two children who are having issues with each other, and he's trying to figure out, trying to deal with his whole mentor being back. This, we end up following Barry to the Flash Museum, where he's looking over all these exhibits, all these things honoring him, and someone else comes up to him, Hal Jordan. Now, we find out that Barry originally didn't like Hal, thought that Hal looked at Wonder Woman too long, that Hal laughed too much when the odds were against them, and then he found out that he was a cop, and that changed their relationship totally. In this comic, Hal's trying to talk to Barry and say, you got a party to go to, you're back, enjoy life. And, Barry's trying to adjust to people texting, being on the phone, doing a dozen things at once. And Hal, wonders if it's confusing him, and Barry's like, no, the world's finally catching up to me. Because Barry's always been fast, always been ahead of everything. So it's for a change that the world's finally catching up to him. Also, we're seeing a murderer going around with the Flash symbol. We don't know who it is, but we know that somebody's getting murdered in the name of Flash. Now, while this is going on, Flash, Barry, starts running through to catch, because he sees one of the other Flashes, Wally West. and he can't, he figured it's Wally's villain, no real big to do, but one of Wally's villains who outran Lightning, who outran Death as well. Now, he touches this guy, and all of a sudden, all those who have Flash powers become electrocuted. They all get zapped. And we're left with an amazing cliffhanger for the next one. Now, for you Flash fans, you need to pick this up. We'll be back, and we'll go into some more DC and cross over into some Marvel comics.